Hey guys, welcome back to the WODdoc Project365, episode 152. We're bringing back the Nerd Day today. We haven't done one of these in a while, and sometimes I think it's really important just to slow down, kind of jump back and collect and learn a little bit about the whys and not necessarily so much about the hows. We spend a lot of time on the hows and sometimes forget about the whys, but it's so important to understand the how, or the understand the why, so that way we can expand on the hows, right? So you hear me say this term, contract, relax, a lot of times when I give my WODdoc prescription. And I've had some questions to say, hey, what exactly do you mean by when we talk about, contract, relax? So I wanted to give a definition and give an understanding of what it actually is and why it works, or the theories behind it. So here's what we got here. It says, what is contract, relax? And you'll notice that I use the word contract, relax, mobilization. I never really use the word stretch because we're not actually causing a physical change, right? If you look at the muscles in microscopic detail, and we get down to the thick and thin filaments and stuff like that, we don't actually change those things, but we can mobilize them. We can improve their gliding properties. So that's why I like to use the word mobilization rather than stretching. But onto the topic. So contract, relax actually falls under an umbrella term called proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Now, this is a mobilization technique which is used to facilitate muscular inhibition, meaning it likes to down-regulate muscle contraction, right? How does it do it? It does it in several different ways, and there's a whole bunch of subtypes. But the type that we're talking about today uses what's called autogenic inhibition. Now, this is a self-induced inhibition, meaning our body does it naturally as a reflex. And what it's used for is to protect against muscle tearing, right? So what does it use? It uses what's called GTOs, or Golgi tendon organs, to turn off the muscle. So if we were to look over here, this is a mock-up. I know it's a terrible muscle. It kind of looks more like an eyeball, but follow along with me here. We have a muscle, and inside the muscle, we have these things called Golgi tendon organs. Now, these are receptors that sense tension. Now, in areas or times of very high tension, our muscles flip on these switches, or I should say, our Golgi tendon organs flip on these switches, which kind of short circuits the muscle and shuts it off. So neurologically, the muscle shut off and can no longer contract. So here's the thing: we know this works because I want to give you guys like a real life situation. If you've ever walked up to an extremely heavy object and you try to pick it up, a big rock or whatever it might be, flip a car, right? You'll initiate that deadlifting position, and you might try for a couple seconds, but after you exert enough energy, you'll just kind of be shut completely off, and you'll stop, right? Why does this happen? Because our body has this response that won't let us physically pull our muscles off of our bones, and that is from these Golgi tendon organs. Once we develop enough tension to where our body thinks that we might be in danger of damaging the tissue, it flips on, it shuts off the tissue, and it causes this reflexive inhibition, right? This reflexive relaxation. Well, boom. This is exactly what we're talking about, and this is what we're trying to take advantage of when we do this PNF type of stretching method, right? What we're trying to take advantage of is that momentary inhibition in which we get that reflexive relaxation, right? And we use this to maximize the tissue mobility. So when we do a contract-relax format, what we get is we cause tension to build up high enough to where we start to get this reflexive inhibition, this reflexive relaxation. And then we immediately take that tissue to a lengthened position, and we hold that lengthened position to mobilize the tissue. So hopefully, this whole thing put together will give you a little bit more of an outlook of what we're actually doing when we talk about contract, relax, and the actual meaning or the actual theories behind how it works. Guys, sometimes it's more important to know the why instead of the how, because that is how we optimize function to optimize performance. See you guys tomorrow.